Hi everyone, I want to say hello and thank you to the members of the Dunamis SDA Church for inviting me to address you on this year's Health Expo. Particular thanks must go to your pastoral family, the Francises. Friends, very close friends with the Francis from here in Jamaica, and I was quite pleased when they extended invitation to me to share with you doing what I do best and what I love to do, which is sharing life-saving health information with every and anyone. It is my absolute pleasure to share in this event today. Now, I must say that I am a Seventh-day Adventist, and it has been my life's work to learn and to teach about health. I'm a member of the Bendon Seventh-day Adventist Church right here in Jamaica. I'm a medical doctor trained in Jamaica. I have been a doctor for 20 years. I'm also trained in the US as a functional medicine physician. So I'm certified by IFM. I did over 3 years of training in the US back and forth while in practice in Jamaica. It has been a wonderful journey of learning and adventure and teaching. I want to make a promise to you. I'm going to share with you today a lot of information. Yeah? And I want to promise you that if you implement at least 25% of what I'm going to say and consistently implement it, amazing things will happen in your body. You will be changed physically and mentally forever. You will not be the same. So I'm inviting you to pay close attention and to take notes and to, as much as possible, try to implement some of my recommendations that you think are right for you. Now, this presentation is about reversing chronic illnesses. That's what we're really going to talk about. And I'm going to talk about it because it's so profound and important. It's a very important topic to everyone, both here in Jamaica and in the US, and worldwide for that matter, because chronic illnesses has replaced the old-time infectious diseases. Now we see a few things coming back like COVID-19. But by and large, the cause of illness worldwide over the past few years has been things like hypertension, diabetes, strokes, cardiovascular disease, and the list of things killing people is the same list. The number one cause of death in the US right now in your country is cardiovascular disease, heart attacks. Second, cancer on the list. Third, respiratory diseases related to smoking and pollution. And the list also includes hypertension and diabetes and many illnesses that we consider to be not transmissible, but lifestyle diseases. Now, as I said, COVID-19 would be maybe high on the list, but it certainly hasn't replaced those chronic diseases as the main cause of death. The sad thing about it is that these deaths are preventable. These diseases are preventable, and for those who have them, many times it's reversible. That's what we're going to talk about today. So strap on your seatbelt and get ready for this very important ride. Now, I'm a firm believer in your body's ability to heal itself. Your body can heal itself. Your body wants to heal itself. And your body is yearning for you to cooperate with it in this natural healing process that is innate, that God endowed your body with. What your body needs is your cooperation. You need to provide it with the 90 essential nutrients it needs per day. You'll learn that later on. You need to give it the right kind of mental environment and physical environment, and your body can completely heal itself from almost any disease, and in very short spaces of time. It doesn't take 10 years, as little as weeks, maybe all you need to reverse many diseases that you now suffer from. Sounds amazing? Well, let's find out how. Well, I want to start by addressing what's making us sick. What's the reason behind all these chronic illnesses that are dogging our population, that are dogging you and me and my family? What is the reason for this? Well, there are a number of reasons, and I'm going to go through them quickly. The bulk of the presentation will be spent on looking at what you can do. Well, number one, you want to try to avoid doing the things that are making you sick. And they will include things that you consume, habits that you partake in. So let me start by saying, I think the lack of movement in our population worldwide, people are just dependent on technology and don't move and exercise enough. So that lack of movement is one contributor to the obesity and diabetes and depression epidemic that we see. And the cardiovascular epidemic, to be precise, is very much linked to the lack of exercise. Another one on the list is cigarette smoking. Adventists generally don't smoke, so that's probably preaching to the converted. Alcohol consumption is also another very bad habit that we have, as a population, increased our consumption of alcohol, and that's led to lots of diseases that we'll see on the list that we just mentioned. In addition to this, loneliness, very significant contributor to morbidity and mortality, and the research is very clear that loneliness does contribute to you being sick, and the length of time that you are sick and your speed of recovery, the development of cancer, heart attacks and so on are related to you not having very good social connections. And COVID-19 has made that for us even more difficult. We are separated in physical distance and socially from our neighbors and friends and our close relatives, and this has contributed certainly to the rise of death rate in cardiovascular disease and cancers and so on. In addition to this, we find depression. People are just down and sad, and apart from suicide being a consequence of depression, depression itself makes every other illness worse, and certainly that's one contributor to the whole list of non-communicable diseases that we suffer from. In addition to this, I want to also mention nutrition. Very, very important. Most of us are malnourished or undernourished. Why? Because we are consuming foods that just don't have the amount of nutrients we need. We also are consuming lots of processed foods, and processing of a food really removes many of the nutritional value that God put into the food to heal and nutrify your body. And so eating the wrong type of food and the wrong amount of the wrong type of food is certainly a contributor. There are some particular foods that are egregiously connected with disease, and they're going to include things like processed meats. You'll see on my screen where processed meats are in the class 1 category for carcinogens. Processed meats like bacon and salami and bologna and corned beef are known cancer-causing disease foods, and this has been proven and published by WHO, the World Health Organization. So this is very, very well-established science, and the more of these things you consume, it's just a matter of time before you get cancer. That's the reality. The less you consume, the lower your risk of cancer. We also see on the list sugar. Sugar is something that we all love. We consume it in juices, in pastry, in various sauces and porridges and various things that we do. But sugar is an addictive drug, and its contribution to heart disease and diabetes and hypertension and cancer is well established. And the less you consume, the better for you. And if you consume no refined sugar, then that's awesome. Sugar in the form of fruits, that's quite enough. But to be adding sugar to your food, that's a recipe for disease. I want to also add to the list gluten. Gluten is found in primarily flour or wheat-based products. So your breads and buns and bullets and cakes and biscuits and all the products that you bake in an oven are gonna really consume gluten. And gluten is a known protein that is fingered in the development of lots of autoimmune diseases, and the list of autoimmune diseases is now over 100. And we're talking about things like lupus and rheumatoid arthritis and Hashimoto's thyroiditis and various other conditions related to allergy like asthma and eczema and so on. Gluten has been fingered as a major contributor to development and the progression of these diseases. It also is very much at the center of the obesity epidemic, the center of the cardiovascular epidemic, at the center of the diabetes epidemic. Gluten is a food that in the present form that we consume, it should not be in our diet. It's gonna be a net negative to our diet. Yes, wheat flour may contain some B vitamins and some fiber, but the downside of consuming gluten is it does not justify the amount of gluten we consume, and some persons should avoid it completely, especially if you have any of the aforementioned diseases. That's something that you should remove from your diet almost immediately, and the results will be astounding. You will not be worse off, you'll not be hungrier, you'll be healthier, have more energy, and you'll find pains and aches and fatigue and all of those negative symptoms just vanishing into thin air, because they were being triggered by and perpetuated by the consumption of this harmful protein called gluten. Another set of foods that we want to mention is meats that are cooked until they're black. So grilled foods and jerk foods and all different foods that you grill, especially meats. When you cook a meat on open flame or in an oven till it's black, what you form in it are cancer-causing chemicals, one of which is heterocyclic amines. These are known to cause cancer of the esophagus and stomach and mouth and various parts of the digestive tract. And the more of these foods you consume, it's just a matter of time before you get sick. Yeah, so I want to include on this list that stress is a major contribution to morbidity or illness. Being stressed about work, about your relationship, about your finances, that's a reality of life. Stress is common, and the more stress you have, the more disease you will have, and the less you manage your stress and the less well you manage your stress, the more disease will be burdening you down. So addressing this stress issue is very, very important, and it's important for you to, if you're in a situation that's stressful, to try to fix it, resolve the stress, forgive whoever hurt you, leave that job that's burning you down, retrain yourself and find a job that you love, go to counseling with you and your partner and your kids and get some help to solve those relationship problems. And then there are some times when you have to just leave a situation behind because the stress is too great and the mountain to climb to fix is so high that it doesn't work out. So I want to spend the next few minutes in talking about what makes us better. What will make you get better? Now that we have looked at the causes of many of our diseases, what can you do to ensure that your health improves with time? Well, certainly I started with lack of exercise being one of the contributors to ill health. I want to also say exercising will contribute to wellness. We were made to move. It's so unfortunate so many of us don't move enough, because that's how the Father designed the body. It was made to move. You were not made to sit in a couch all day and watch television, which makes you dumber, by the way. Television kills your brain cells, and consuming content on your laptop, on your phone. Technologies are great and they're convenient and they're nice, but the hours that we spend sitting down, makes us ill. It's found that sitting for 8 hours per day gives you as much heart disease as smoking. So Adventists who are sitting down all day not moving, you have nothing over the smokers, because you're in the same boat, same cardiovascular risk category as a smoker, because you're sitting for more than 8 hours per day watching these Netflix series and whatever else it is that you're watching, and watching these ball games repeated over and over again. And exercise doesn't have to be bothersome or take a lot of time. Yes, if you have time, you could do a jog or a walk, brisk walk, where you sweat and your heart rate goes up 40 minutes 4 times a week is probably minimum. If you can do it 6 days a week and go for an hour, that's even better. So walking, cycling, jogging, swimming, climbing stairs, going to a gym, going on a treadmill, outdoors, indoors, in the sunlight, whatever, just move. Gardening, whatever, do your manual work, work around the house. But you gotta do it at a pace that makes you sweat and your heart race for you to get the cardiovascular endurance benefit that we really want from exercise. But anything you can do is very important. If you're strapped for time, you're a busy executive or a busy mom with 3 kids, or busy with municipal work, work with a fire station, or a police officer, and you have very limited time, then people like me and you, because I'm busy too, we can do what we call HIIT, high intensity interval training. And you're going to see a short video of what that entails. But essentially, exercise is at maximum intensity for short periods of time. So it may be squatting, pushing ups, jumping jacks, whatever, or a combination. And as little as 15 minutes of HIIT, every day can replace the need for a 1 hour exercise that's moderate, light to moderate. So if you have chop for time, do HIIT, and that will be awesome for your body. You'll feel better over time, you'll look better, you will lose weight, your blood pressure will go down, your blood sugar will go down. Did you know that 15 minutes, well, 30 minutes of exercise is equivalent to taking 10 units of insulin? Check your blood sugar, go for a 30-minute jog, come back, check it again. Your sugar would have dropped significantly because you're burning sugar. Your muscles are absorbing more glucose from your bloodstream and you're burning it up. So exercise is very, very important to diabetes control, and every diabetic should be exercising. The more diabetic you are, the more exercise you should be doing. And I'll guarantee you that you'll see significant improvements in your overall health and reduction in your need for medication. So the medication dosage will need to be dropped by your doctor because you're burning up more sugar and have less need for diabetes medication like metformin, and insulin and so on. Next thing I want to highlight is the need for us to drink clean, pure water. Too many of us rely on commercially prepared juices, sodas, fruit juice. These are not good for you. These are sugar containing drinks. We should be drinking water, water, water. Now, you always hear that you should drink 8 glasses of water per day. I think it's not standard for everyone to drink 8 glasses. Some persons who are in a hot environment, who are working outside and sweating profusely, you may need 10 or 12 glasses. Persons who are indoors in the winter and it's cold and you're not sweating a lot and you're not doing a lot of work, 4 or 6 glasses might be sufficient, but you need water every single day in large amounts. And the rule of thumb is to drink water until the urine is clear. That's how you know that your body is well hydrated. Nothing takes place in your body, no reaction, no process, no mental thought, nothing significant takes place in your body without drinking adequate amounts of water. The next thing on the list is for you to get enough minerals. Minerals are essential to your body, and you need 60 different minerals per day. These include iron, calcium, and magnesium, and silicon, and zinc, and copper, and selenium. And most of us are mineral deficient. Most of us, because primarily our soils are deficient. If you look at a map or graph of mineral content of the soils 100 years ago to now we have probably 5% of minerals that we had 100 years ago in the soil, and that translates into the food. So the foods that we're consuming don't have enough minerals to meet our daily requirements. So my grandma used to say, ripe banana doesn't taste as it did when she was younger, and she was right, because the minerals in the plants are so depleted. And so when you eat a food thinking that you're getting enough minerals, you're probably not. And so it's just a matter of time before something breaks, because your joints and your blood vessels and your heart and your kidney and your liver depends on minerals to function well and to maintain their structural integrity. And so when you're mineral deficient, you're just going to be deteriorating very fast. And you get minerals primarily from the salt that you consume. And I'm not referring to table salt, sodium chloride. I'm referring now to some exotic salts, like your pink Himalayan salt or your Celtic sea salt, as you see on the screen. These salts contain up to 80 minerals, some of them, and they will nutrify your body and give you sufficient minerals that you need every day. You may get minerals also from eating sea vegetables, things like your sea moss and your nori, your kombucha. These kind of sea vegetables are going to be essential to providing you with essential minerals that you need, and they are not typically part of our diets. For some, they might taste a little off, but putting them in your vegetable salads or in your soups are a great way to incorporate them in your diet to make sure that you're getting adequate minerals. You may also want to buy a mineral supplement, and there are quite a few. My favorite is the plant-derived minerals from Longevity. It's liquid. We also have colloidal minerals from Berry Treasure. These are two good brands that you can get on Amazon to buy, and I recommend these highly as being good value for money, quality products. Most minerals and vitamins on the market are not going to be of much use to you. They're going to be maybe toxic because they were produced in the cheapest facility under very poor conditions with the wrong kind of combinations, and you have to be very careful when you're buying supplements. Most supplement brands aren't any good. The cheaper the brand, most commonly the worse the quality. But there are some good brands that you can trust, and I just mentioned two brands that you can trust. I'll mention some others as I go along. So buying your supplements are very important, and taking them in regular amounts, in the right amount, the right dose, is going to be make very, very significant for your health. If you're diabetic, for example, taking a mineral called chromium, about 500 micrograms per day, or one called vanadium, are going to be significant, because we know that chromium and vanadium deficiency are linked to the development of diabetes, and most of us are deficient in these minerals. And so if you take these two minerals in the right amount, a lot of persons will not have diabetes anymore, because that's what caused your diabetes in the first place. So I operate on the premise that, if something is causing disease and you remove it, most commonly the disease will reverse. Too many of us approach our health, with a knee-jerk reaction of, I have a headache, I'm going to take some Tylenol. I have a back pain, I'm going to take some Advil. My sugar is up, I'm going to take some insulin to get it down. My blood pressure is up, I'm going to take some blood pressure medication to get it down. That's how medicines approach these days. But what if you could take a step back and say, okay, why am I having a headache? Why am my back hurting? Certainly it's not a deficiency of pain medication. Why is my blood pressure up? Why is my blood sugar up? It's certainly not a deficiency of metformin or a deficiency of blood pressure medication. Your insulin may be deficient in type 1 diabetes, but most persons, insulin deficiency is not the problem. Most commonly, maybe something that you're eating or something that you're not eating, which is why you're sick. So for headaches, might be lack of enough fluids or lack of sleep. For your back pain, maybe lifting too heavy or lack of minerals like calcium and magnesium, or a prostate problem. For your blood pressure, it might be lack of magnesium or calcium, and maybe just stress or eating too much sodium. Overworking. For your blood sugar, I said chromium and vanadium deficiency are causes, and your weight. So if you approach diseases this way and look at what's making me sick and remove that from the equation, your body is so ready to heal. And that's the approach I want you to take to dealing with diseases. And to, I'm just going to plug here that I'm so sorry I couldn't be there with you in person. I'm going to make a promise to Pastor that soon, one day soon, I'm going to be there with you in person, so you can get to see me and touch me and ask some questions, so we could sit a whole day and discuss some of these issues and go through maybe a whole series of looking at diseases one by one and picking apart the do's and don'ts, because I have so much to share with you. Let's continue. You need vitamins. So you need minerals and vitamins. Vitamins you're going to get along with phytonutrients from your fruits and vegetables. So colors indicate what nutrients foods contain. So when you see oranges, an orange color, that indicates beta carotene, indicates vitamin A. Yeah. You see yellow, that may indicate curcumin, like in turmeric and so on. If you see purple, anthocyanins, purple and blue and so on. You see green, you're talking about chlorophyll with magnesium, you're talking about, you see reds, you're talking about lutein and lycopene, that's in your tomatoes and so on. So having, a wide variety of color in your food is one of the best ways to get your vitamins. I love green juices, so I do a green smoothie every morning. I love it so much that I opened a health food store, and they make my green smoothie now with my recipe, and I get one every morning for breakfast. And I have so many patients who are now on green smoothies, losing weight, getting their blood sugars down with no medication, having a green smoothie for breakfast and maybe for lunch every single day to improve their health. And trust me, it's the fast food ultimate example. So it's from the blender or your NutriBullet to your stomach to your bloodstream in 20 minutes. Absorption is quick and fast, digestion is very easy, and it gives you a high nutrient per calorie load, so you get a lot of nutrients with a low amount of calories, and that's what we need to lose weight and to maintain good muscle mass and maintain great body overall composition. You know, I want to also look at amino acids. These are building blocks of protein, and proteins are going to be not just your muscle, but your enzymes that function in every cell in your body. So you need enzymes to be working, so you need good quality protein constantly. So your amino acids are going to come from your peas and beans, such as your legumes. It's going to come from your nuts and your seeds. So your nuts like your chia, your Brazil nuts and your cashew and almonds. Deliberately left out peanut because peanut is so problematic. It's allergenic and it contains lots of molds, and it can be very harmful for a lot of people. So peanut, not one of my favorite nuts, but certainly other nuts are there, pistachios and so on. And they have not just the nuts, but they have the nut butters now, and they have nut oils, which I'm not a fan of oil generally, but peanut oil can be, you know, a little bit beneficial when compared to corn and canola oil and so on. My favorite is coconut oil, but oil is going to be something you want to keep to a minimum, because oil can get oxidized in a bottle, and oxidation is what ages you and makes you, you know, your cells die faster. So oil is not something you want to consume, and that should have been in the list of foods to probably reduce or avoid oil to be fried. You probably can consume coconut oil and olive oil as garnishes on your salads. That will help you to absorb those fat-soluble minerals, especially the fat-soluble vitamins, like vitamin A, D, E, and K. And that's why you want to consume oils, but not fried and all of those deep-fried and sauces that we consume tons of oil and fat in. It's not necessarily good for you. So for your amino acids, you want to look at your nuts and seeds, and I tend to consume I tend to consume my nuts in the form of smoothies, my seeds in smoothies also, my legumes in the form of soups and stews, and you'll see some pictures on the screen of things that you can actually make with your nuts and seeds and so on. You can also consider adding to your diet things like fish. You know, salmon and different kind of fatty fish like cod and sardines are very helpful to give you right amount of proteins, and you also can get from them good amount of omega-3 fatty acids. You have 3 essential fatty acids, you know, EPA and DHA and ALA, and these fatty acids are things that you need in your diet every single day. 3, and you will get them from your nuts and seeds and from your fatty fish. Fiber is very important. Fiber is not considered something that your body absorbs into the bloodstream, but it's very important to feed your gut bacteria. Did you know that you have over 100 trillion bacteria in your gut? Compare that to 10 trillion cells that make up your entire body. So you may be outnumbered 10 to 1 by bacteria in your intestine. And why is this so? These are essential part of your survival kit. God put them in you from the day you were born. You got them from your mother's milk and from the birth canal, and they protect you from harmful germs. They provide your body with essential nutrients. They digest foods that you need. Without them, you would not be very, very healthy. You need good, healthy bacteria. We kill them off with antibiotics and processed foods and lots of mouthwashes and all these things. But we build them up by consuming lots of vegetables. Yeah, lots of vegetables, raw, cooked, steamed. We get them by having lots of fermented food. I mentioned before kombucha and sauerkraut and yogurt, you know, preferably plant-based yogurts, and you can get them from taking probiotics. These are essential part of making sure that you are healthy and making sure that you are going to be getting in your body all the things you need to make sure your gut bacteria healthy. I'm going to share with you a few slides which show wonderful recipes that we have here in Jamaica and we make and you can make there. And I have 2 of my colleagues on my health group who are going to be preparing meals for you and showing you how simple and easy it is to find a way around the kitchen to make nutritious, healthy and tasty meals.
Good afternoon, I am Julian and today I'll be preparing for you fish vegetable soup. I know you're going to love it. Now, what I'm going to include in my soup, I have my callaloo, I have okras, pumpkin, I have turnip, and I have Irish potato, I have pak choy, carrot, and chow chow. So right now I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to start my cooking. I have now washed my vegetables, I've cut them up, and I'm now going to add them to my fish that was already cooking. So here I have my vegetables, and I'm now going to peel a piece of yellow yam, after which the remaining vegetables will be put in the pot almost at the ending, as you don't want them to cook too soft and lose their nutrients. So like my callaloo and the kale and the pak choy, those will put in after I season the pot. Now lastly, I'm going to put in the okras, as the okras are to be crunchy. So when the pot is near taking off, like a minute before, then I'll put the okras in. Continue to simmer down now until I do the seasoning up and add the final vegetables. I'm now going to season the pot. So I'm putting in my escallion, my green scotch bonnet, and my thyme. And I'm going to now add my fish noodle. It's a Grace brand, so I'm going to add my fish noodle. You might be wondering why I didn't use any salt, but remember that the noodle, all the little salty taste will be in the noodle, so you don't need to add any additional salt. When I was doing the fish, I tip a little sea salt in it, not too salty, but just to have a little flavor, because the fish was cooked in garlic and a little salt. And I picked the fish, strained it, so there's no bone deposited in the soup. And now I am doing my seasoning up. So I'm going to give it a few minutes to simmer down, and then I'm going to add my callaloo, my kale, pak choy, and as I said, my okras will be the final when the pot is going to be taken off. Alright, so if you can look, you'll see the outcome. I'm on the final now. So I have washed my callaloo and my pak choy and my kale, and I am now putting them in the pot. Right, so I'm putting them in the pot now, and this is just going to take like 3 minutes to complete, and after which I'm going to add my okras near to turning off, so you can have a nice look at it. You can see that it's looking very delicious. Right, so we're almost at the end of our fish vegetable soup. So here's our finished product, and I'm now just going to share a bowl, and I hope that you will enjoy this lovely vegetable soup. Right, so I am going to turn off the flames now. I just thank you for watching, and this is my finished product. This is my fish vegetable soup. I do hope that you'll enjoy this meal.
Very happy Sabbath to you, everyone. I hope you're enjoying your Sabbath so far. My name is Tammy, and I'm from the Be Healthy Family Group. Today I have the opportunity to share with you one of my delicious meals that I have every single day. It's called an Alkagizer, and what that is, it's your daily greens prepared in a creamy, delicious, and super nutritious smoothie. For today, the ingredients that I have cucumber, spinach, avocado, celery, Himalayan salt, and coconut water. I believe in the concept of keeping it simple. So there's no complicated ingredients, and these are just my choice for today. You could switch it up depending on what you're desiring. So if you want to turn this into like a detox, you could add a lemon or ginger or a green apple. But for me, my main priority is just having a highly or a potently nutritious smoothie to nourish my body. Now, Alkagizer have several benefits that I want to share with you. If your goal is, for example, losing weight, you can replace a meal with an Alkagizer. So instead of having your meal, you just do Alkagizer. Another benefit that it has, it boosts your taste buds definitely for craving healthy meals. So if you want to go through a transition from having a craving for unhealthy food and you want to go towards healthy food, this is a great way to do it. Another benefit is it increases nutrition, and it's a perfect energy booster. When I have this, I don't need to eat again until maybe midday or 1 p.m. I'm very good, and I have no fog. One of the things that I have noticed about myself is that I don't have what we call cloudy thinking, and I totally contribute that to my Alkagizer in the morning. And another benefit, of course, is just boosting your immune system. As I said, you can use it as a detox. So yeah, that's my intro to my meal, and we are going to be making my version of Alkagizer today. So here we go. So first up, we're going to be adding our coconut water. My recipe, when you see it, it will say about 0.6 liter, which is about 600 ml. But normally I'm not really exact, I just go with the flow. So for the best texture, I'll show you how to add the ingredients. So of course you're going to add the water first. Then we're going to do the spinach. And this is my 4 cups of previously washed spinach. Next, we're just going to do let me just get this out of the way. We're going to do our celery here. And I have my half of cucumber. These are all organic vegetables that I buy at the health food store. The great thing about having a powerful blender is that I don't have to make it too fine. The blender will be able to handle this. And finally, I have my avocado. Sprinkle a little bit of my salt, maybe about half a teaspoon. and I just usually run it a second time just to make sure that everything is all smooth and I don't have any chunks in my drink. So I'll just do it another time. Just look at that lovely, green, nutritious, healthy meal waiting for you. So there you have it, my green, nutritious Alka-Jyzer. And I'm going to have my tester here to give you her feedback. So here you go, my tester. You can have a drink.
Well, welcome back. It is my sincere pleasure to continue to talk to you about how to be healthy. And one of the important things that we want to look at now is sleep. Most of us spend too many hours awake. You were designed to sleep for 1/3 of your life. Yes, if you're 60 years old, you should have slept for 20 years. So every day you should be sleeping 8 hours. This is an essential requirement of your body. It's not a compromise that you can make. And if you make that compromise and get less than the amount of sleep that you need, then you're going to pay for it in aging. You're going to pay for it in hypertension and diabetes. You're going to pay for it in increases of cancer. You're going to pay for it in migraine headaches. You're going to pay for it in just being sick and unhealthy. You need sleep. That's not something that you can negotiate. And if you don't sleep for 2 days, trust me, bad things will happen. Many drivers on the road have lost their lives, killed people because of inadequate sleep. As a young physician, that happened to me. Accidents or near accidents because of just not enough sleep. It's not something that's recommended. You should sleep 6 to 8 hours is a minimum, and we say 8 generally. Some kids require a little more. Elderly persons require a little less. But you need to make sure that you sleep and get restful sleep each night. And there are some simple things that you can do if you have difficulty sleeping to make sure that you're getting restful sleep. And I'm going to put on screen an important sleep hygiene toolkit item that we use and give to my patients, and just look at it briefly and see if there are a couple of things that you can do to improve your sleep, such as not eating close to bedtime, going for a walk before bedtime, having a nice shower and keeping your room nice and cozy, turning off all the lights, putting away the cell phone so you have no LED lights or no cell phones ringing and buzzing off near you, getting the television out of your bedroom. Television should be in your living room, and when you're ready to go to bed, you retire television free, and getting an adequate amount of air into your ear. So if you're not properly ventilated, open the windows during the summer to get air in. If it's winter, of course, we understand that you have to turn a heater on and so on. But these are some simple things you can do to improve your sleep. Avoiding drinks that may stimulate you, coffee, carbonated beverages, sugary drinks. These things are going to make you not sleep well. So a lot of things on the list, but you could just look at it briefly and see if you could find something that could assist you with your sleep. There are supplements that can help. Many of us are deficient in melatonin. Melatonin taken in 3 milligrams per day. And there are different brands like Pure Essentials, Metagenetics, Thorne. These are good American brands for melatonin that you can find very helpful. And there is also a brand of turmeric nighttime from Bionutrients, and they make a good sleep aid that can help you if you have difficulty sleeping. I tend not to go for sleeping pills. They are addictive, but sometimes they're necessary for short periods of time to assist you with your sleep. Now, many of us might not think of it this way, but your relationships impact your health significantly. Your relationships with your friends and with your partner at home. So I can predict with a great degree of accuracy your income, your health, and your habits by looking at who your friends are. Many of us just randomly hang out with people who randomly wander into our lives. How about deliberately choosing who your friends are, who you hang out with, deliberately choosing who you marry? Yeah? Just think deeply about it. And if you're already married, think seriously about making your marriage healthier, better, spending time with your partner, quality time to improve the quality of your relationships. Because the quality of your relationships you see will determine the quality of your health. My observation and the studies show that men generally are healthier when they're married and live longer. Women die earlier when they're married because the relationship is so skewed to women being stressed, men relaxing. But I think relationship stress affects both parties, and you want to make sure that you are not experiencing a torrid, toxic relationship. It does something to your mind and to your body that's not good. It sends your blood pressure up, gives you depression. It will make you lose bone mass and makes you lethargic. It robs you of vital life force. It takes away your happiness and joy. Take away your smile and your laughter. Which the Bible says, by the way, laughter is good medicine. So being in a bad relationship can take away that God-given medicine that you're supposed to consume every single day. So you need to make sure that you're in great relationships. So spend time working on it. You know, find out about your partner, what they like, and make sure that they feel loved, make sure they feel valued, and in turn they'll give you back what you need. Men, make your wife feel valued and loved and respected, and she'll give you everything you need. She'll return that love to you. Likewise, women do the same thing. It is reciprocal, and if you do to others as you'd have them do unto you, they will do to you as you have done to them. But if you give out negative energy, if you give out negativity, if you give out frowns and complaints and nagging, then you're going to get back something that is quite similar. So it's all about what you do in your relationship. And if you're doing the best you can and you're not getting results, maybe you're not doing what your partner wants. Find out, what should I be doing, honey, to make you happy? And that will be a big step in overcoming the hurdles that you have in your relationship. You know, stress management is very important, and stress contributes to so many diseases. Stress is a significant contributor to mortality and morbidity. And I want to underline the importance of not getting rid of stress. Yes, get rid of some stress. Maybe some things need to go, some persons need to go from your life. But managing your stress better by finding time to spend on you and your mental state. Go to nature, go to the beach, if there's a beach close by, to the river, to the lake. Go on a picnic, go on a weekend camping. You know, take a trip to Dubai or to Jamaica to enjoy sand, sun, and sea. You know, that's going to be very, very important to de-stressing. Also, you know, increasing your exposure to sunlight. That's very important. When you have sunlight now, going out into the sun is very important to improve your vitamin D levels and improve your eyesight and improve your ability to sleep and improve your mental state. Your depression symptoms go away when you're exposed to sunlight. Vitamin D is very important. Your body makes it when you're exposed to sunlight. About 90 minutes a day in the sun is very, very important for you. And sunlight and vitamin D are intimately linked. And vitamin D is not a vitamin, really, it's a hormone. Controls over 600 genes in your body, prevents cancer and makes you healthier and prevent diabetes. Sunlight is a God-given medicine that so many of us habitually fail to make good use of. Get sunlight. Go outside, walk barefooted. Get your feet in contact with the ground. We call it grounding. Gives your body that negative charge of electrons that get rid of stress and electrostatic buildup of charges in your body. More about that when I see you. And finally, trust in God. You know, the Bible says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not unto your own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. This is a very important verse of scripture, and it is going to be your most important health technique. Trust in God. So all the diet and exercise and all of those things are good, but you need to understand that your best health remedy is to trust God for whatever illness or ailment that you have. Too many of us are Christians just in word and thought, not in practicality. Put God to the test. If there's something that you're struggling with, I recommend that you put it to him, talk to him about it, and let him guide you. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Yes, but lean not to your own understanding. It means that whatever he says, that's what you should do, not what you think. In his Bible, in his word, he has all the recommendations for great health that you need. Follow his word, listen to the yearnings and the speaking of his Holy Spirit, and you'll find that your health will be better off. You will improve in ways that you never thought possible. You know, many times in Daniel chapter 1, we credit Daniel's vegetarian diet for his massive improvement in understanding and wisdom, and his improvement in physical appearance in just 10 days. You know, people don't look better and lose weight in 10 days on vegetarian, and gain weight, and look better in 10 days. They don't get 10 times wiser from eating food. Daniel's experience was a combination of food he ate, but the blessing of the Lord as he was obedient to God's word. This blessing would be a greatest asset in getting back your health to where you want it to be. Recommending that to you today. It was wonderful sharing with you. It was wonderful participating in your Health Expo. I trust that you learned something and you would have been able to take some shots off the screen and take some notes and implement at least 25% of what I recommended to you today. And I guarantee your life will change forever. Do not miss SD in church. Have yourself. Hope to see you soon.